Hello there, it's good to have you join us on another interesting edition of Health Matters, reaching you live from NTA Channel 12 Uyo. And on this program, we try to enlighten you and educate you on health issues just to ensure that you stay healthy and fit. My name is Umo Basidate, your host, and today we'll be having in the studio Dr. Andrew Ian, who is the Senior Registrar, Department of Ophthalmology, UUTH, and we'll be talking about the eye. Remember, the eye is a very delicate part of your organ. You may see it as being very small, but it's very important because it's the window to the world. Without the eye, you can't appreciate what is going on around you. So you just stay glued to your screen while we take you down on the care and functions of the eyes. Today we are talking about the eye. What do you know about the eye? A lot of people introduce so many foreign bodies to their eyes, thereby leading to blindness. And therefore we have in the studio this evening Dr. Andrew Ian, Senior Registrar, Department of Ophthalmology, UUTH. Hello, Doctor.
Hello, Mrs. Sumo. Thank you for having me around.
Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so the eye, we are talking about the eye today. Tell us a little bit about this little organ which we see as the window to the world or to the body.
Alright, okay, so when we are talking about the eye, you made mention of this little organ. The eye it's a very huge structure.
Wow.
Understand? Like you rightly said, it's a window to the eye. It helps us appreciate the beauty of nature.
Yeah.
And suffice it to say that the eye is a very delicate structure, organ in the body that we need to take absolutely good care of it. So the eye is the organ that we use to see. It has it's made up of a spherical globe connected to the brain via a nerve called the optic nerve that enables us, that transmit this information, the light waves that we see, to the brain for us to see. So the eye, it needs good taking care of. And there are various things that people do that is harmful to the eyes, in which we are going to talk about, and thereafter we'll talk about other forms of care of the eye, other forms of diseases, and then we'll cap it off with what we are celebrating this with, the World Glaucoma Week. So I look forward to having this discussion with you and with the general public.
Yeah, thank you so very much. And when you talk about the eye being that very important organ of the body, because like without the eye you can't appreciate what is going on around you, how can people take care of the eyes?
First, the number one thing that I usually tell people is that you don't put your hands in your eye at will. Most of the time, people, I know that the most frequent symptoms that people have is itching of the eyes. So people tend to itch their eyes a lot, understand? So I always tell people, before putting your hands to itch or to do anything, your hands must always be clean. Even while applying eye drops, you need to wash your hands first. Even when you have itching, I usually tell people, don't rub the eyes. If you have itching, I tell people, get a cold pure water sachet, just place it on the eye. It will help relieve that itching. So the number one thing is to wash your hands. Don't apply anything, any herbal medications, because most of the time the number one harmful practices is applying anything that you see out there into your eyes. So most people apply herbs, leaves. Some people even apply early morning urine. I know that's one of the myths about if your eyes are red and what we call Apollo around here. People tend to put early morning urine, which is very harmful to the eyes. Understand? Because early morning urine, this urine that are steady, it's a waste material. Because anything your body is sending out is waste material, and which could be very harmful. And then for the urine, even for a healthy eyes, it can be very toxic to the eyes. Talk more of eye that is inflamed as an Apollo. you now put this this urine inside your eye, so it will likely even melt the eyes. It can melt the eyes, so it's very harmful. Other kind of harmful practices could be like people telling the mother, or maybe applying breast milk.
Exactly.
So applying breast milk to the eye. This is something that contains glucose, and if there's any form of infection, this glucose, this sugar that is found in breast milk, will actually serve as a culture media that bacteria will even grow
Multiply.
more. Yes, multiply. So it's very harmful. Some people even go as far as applying cow dung, sand. So there are so many things that we see in the hospitals that people come up. I apply this. Some even apply fuel
To the eye.
Yes, maybe because it is now very expensive, so
So they are going to stop it.
Yeah, so there are various things that people apply to the eye, and also what I will need to advise people outside there is that if you have any eye problem, the only place and recognized place you should go to should be the hospital.
Exactly. Okay, because we're just coming to that. If somebody comes down with issues about the eye, where is the right place for the person to go to? You just get to the hospital, or because some people go to the market, these roadside vendors. Yeah, so some people just no, you go to the hospital, they're going to waste my time. You go to the hospital, it's going to be very expensive, so they just choose to patronize the vendors by the roadside. So what would you say about this?
Well, what I will say about that is that the cost of coming to the hospital compared to the cost of the complications you have is enormous. Understand? People should learn to have the proper health seeking behaviors. Understand? Because if your car is bad, where do you take it to? You take it to the mechanic. If you have electrical faults in your house, you call the engineer, the electricians. Understand? So why is it that when it comes to health, people tend to look for shortcuts? It's just the way the orientation of people, because that's why we are here, trying to educate and re-educate people on what to do when they are sick. It's not that they don't know. Even if you go to the bank, you still have to wait for your turn. So people should learn to come to the hospital, wait for their turn. I don't think the cost of going to the hospital is that expensive. It's not that expensive. It's just that people tend to find the way of taking the shortcuts, in which at the end of the day the shortcuts might not be so short, because at the end of the day, when you have the complications, you will still come to the hospital at the end of the day.
And then some people also, you have children coming down with eye issues, eye problems, and sometimes have to wear glasses. But you see some parents are not very disposed to this. They're like, oh, you're too young to start wearing glasses. Is there any risk involved in this kind of attitude?
Yes, there is a risk. There's a risk that is being involved. If a child is not seeing clearly and needs to wear glasses, and you've not given this child an opportunity to have a clear vision, over time the brain ceases to recognize this blurry vision as the normal. Such that with time, even with the proper correction with glasses, this child might not be able to see clearly, and that's a condition we call amblyopia, in which if a correction is not done, maybe medically or surgically, for a growing child, the growing brain to recognize, with time that this child might not even be able to see clearly, even with the proper correction that is being given. So it's not how should I say it? It's not wrong for a child to need glasses. Understand? Because the eye is like a globe. It has different sizes. Just like you have people that are tall, people that are short. That's how the eye is. Understand? So it depends on the size, how curved it is, such that the rays of light that needs to touch at the back of the eye, what we call the retina, for a child to see well. Depends on this size, it might not reach that point, or it might go beyond that point. So the spectacles that we prescribe is just placed with that light and helps the light to focus on where it's supposed to focus for the child to see. So in that case, just like let me say for an adult or for someone of any particular height, you have someone that is short and you need the person to wear high heels in order to reach a particular height. Understand? It doesn't change the height of this person. It only changes the height for a while, and then once the heels is off, the person still maintains the height. There's nothing wrong with the eyes of the child as per se pathology, a disease. It's just that the size and shape is different, so you need something like the glasses to augment. That's explaining it in a layman's term, so that the child can see. So every child that you notice that maybe other siblings are watching the TV from the couch and the child is going closer all the time towards the television, you know that there is something wrong. Or a child that the teacher might complain, oh, this child doesn't copy his notes from the board, looks at the friend or tries to go forward towards the board. So those are the early signs that this child might need the intervention of an ophthalmologist. So you should always try to take your child to see the eye doctor at all times.
Okay, thank you so very much. If you're just joining us, the program is Health Matters, and we have here in the studio today Dr. Andrew Ian, who is the Senior Registrar, Department of Ophthalmology, UUTH. And we are talking about the eye. Remember, your eye is very important, and without the eye, you can't even appreciate what is going on. But you see people around us introducing a lot of foreign bodies into their eye, which is very delicate, and sometimes they end up with blindness and now start pointing accusing fingers at people, saying it's witchcraft attack or the other, one thing or the other. So we are here now to enlighten you and educate you on how to take care of your eye. And so doctor, still talking about them caring for the eyes now, you see that a lot of people have exposed with the advent of the mobile phones, you have the laptops, a lot of people spend quality time on their phone and laptops, and at the end of the day, what do we have any effects from this practice?
Well, although there is no direct disease being caused by having a prolonged on-screen time, however, your eyes may be strained when you've stayed on screen for a very long time. There is what I call, or what we call, the 20-20-20 rule. Understand? Okay. In which, if you spend up to 20 minutes on your device, you now look away for 20 seconds, 20 meters away. Understand? So every 20 minutes you rest your eye for about 20 seconds and look far away, because it reduces eye strain. And most of the time, the appropriate way to orientate your device, maybe your laptop, is that the edge of the screen, the topmost edge of the screen, should be below your eye level, so that you look down on the screen. Understand? So that you don't expose your eye too much to the radiation square coming from the screen. And so and also to say that once you're on your screen or you are doing any near work, most of the time you tend to blink less frequently, because it's the blinking that helps spread the tears over your eyes, keeping it moist. Understand? So once you're on your screen, you blink less frequently, so you tend to have that irritation and strain from prolonged on-screen time. So we encourage people to do to be more focused. That is conscious blinking. Also, it helps to reduce that strain. Also, there's also the blue cut photochromic glasses,
which is very expensive.
Well, you know that that everything is expensive in the country right now. So you can also have even the less expensive one that has the anti-reflective coating, so that the rays that are coming into your eyes can be reflected back and not all will get into the eyes, and so it reduces the strain from prolonged on-screen time.
Okay, so away from the screen issues, let's take a look at the different eye diseases that are common to people within us here.
Okay. So The different diseases that are quite common amongst us, one is just the irritations. People that have allergy, they tend to itch the eye a lot. The eye becomes red. Sometimes you might even notice that this people, because of itching for so long, the areas, the skin around the eyes starts to become darkened. Understand? So that's what we call the allergic conjunctivitis allergy. So it's a very common eye pathology. Understand? It's a variant from systemic atopy, in which people easily react to common allergens in the environment. So what you would not react to, this person might react to itching the eye a lot. Like I said, most of the time I tell people not to itch their eyes. Just get a cold compress, maybe cold pure water. Just drop it, just put it with the back on the eye.
Yes.
It will help reduce it, and then you have to go and see your doctor to know what type that you have, to know the type of medications that will be given to you. Also, people also have red eyes, which could be from a lot of pathologies. So it is meant for the doctor to now find out what causes the red eye. And also, the most common form of the common cause of blindness is what we call the cataract, which is which is caused, most of the causes is due to age. You know, for a layman terms, there's a transparent structure inside the eye that is supposed to be clear. Understand? So with age, it tends to become whitish, cloudy. Let me say, just like the gray hairs, it also turns white. Although people that have diabetes or use certain drugs, or people that smoke, for smokers, these changes tend to come at the earlier rate and is accelerated much more quickly in this set of people. So that one, with surgery, it can be corrected. And then we also have the glaucoma, which is what we are celebrating this week. It causes irreversible blindness. Understand? But it is a preventable cause of blindness. That means early detection and diagnosis is key to stopping someone from going blind from glaucoma, which affects the nerve that connects the eye to the brain for us to see. So it eats up this nerve, damages this nerve, such that the person causes blindness. Understand? So we also call it.
We'll go into glaucoma subsequently. Okay, but still talking about the care for the eye. We have people wearing sunglasses, especially because of the weather during the scorching sun. So you need sunglasses. So are these is it advisable?
Yes, it is quite advisable because the sun, the rays from the sun, if it gets into the eye, it comprises of so many rays, in which the most damaging rays that get into the eye is the ultraviolet B, which is not absorbed by any layer of the eye. So it gets to the retina, what we used to see, and can cause thermal burns and damage to the eye. So the sunglasses, I encourage people to use it. It's very helpful.
And then what are the other ways of preventing eye problems? Like, because some people also just go to the pharmacy and get one eye drop or the other. So what are those ways? If you have challenges with your eye, what are the processes? What are those things that one can readily do to avert all of these problems?
Well, people tend to do a lot of things. Number one, I would say never use an eye drop that's not prescribed by an eye doctor. Understand? Don't use an eye drop that was prescribed for another person, because you don't know what was the indication why that eye drop was prescribed. Also, don't share eyeglasses, because eyeglasses are tailored specifically for a patient's eye. So what the patient needs might not be what you need. So that will be that. Number 3 is that once you feel that you have any eye issue, the earlier you go to the hospital, the earlier that situation can be remedied, because there are sometimes that people might have an eye disease, and they'll waste time and the thing progresses. By the time they now reach the hospital, it must have been too late. Also, most of these eye drops that are being sold in pharmacies, there are some that have the potential of even causing more harm. So before you prescribe it, you must have examined this patient, and then you are sure that this eye drop would not cause any problem for this patient. And for this patient, you might also tell him or her, please come back after 2 weeks or come back after so and so time, so that you can re-examine and be sure that there is no harm being done to this patient. But once you just go to the pharmacy, get an eye drop, most of these things will not be told to the patient. And even if it is being told, most of the patient, they'll always go back, buy another one, and thereby causing more harm than good for themselves.
Okay, so it's still Health Matters with Dr. Andrew Inyang, Senior Registrar, Department of Ophthalmology, UUTH. Doctor, before we go, what will be your word of advice to the people out there? How can they take care of their eyes? What are those things that they should do and the things that they should not do?
These are the things that we've said over and over during the course of our discussion. So the number one thing I would say is that you should protect your eyes at all forms, at all times, using every means possible. Number one, I encourage people to wear spectacles, because apart from providing shading the harmful rays of the sun, it also forms as a barrier. Because most of the time you see people, like there was a patient I saw, he was in his car, a stone was thrown and it hits the eye inside his own car. So if you are with your glasses, it gives a form of protection too. Also, don't put any harmful concoction or preparations into your eyes, be it breast milk, sugar, leaf, or anything. You are not trying to cook inside the eye by putting all those things. So the eye is very delicate. So any of those things can easily damage the eye. Yeah. Okay,
thank you so very much, Dr. Inyang. You've heard it all. Please, 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 you're fond of putting early morning urine into your eyes. You also like putting what's the other one? Breast milk, sugar,
cow dung, sand,
plenty things for meat if you don't want to lose your sight. Because tomorrow you now start accusing someone that somebody has caused their blindness. Nobody caused your blindness. It's that harmful practice that you engage in. So if you have itches, if you have any issues, inflammation with your eyes, the right thing to do is just go to the hospital, report. Even going to the pharmacy to buy eye drop, going to that chemist man to get eye drop is so wrong. Please stay away from it. And that's it for Health Matters this week. See you again same time next week. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.